Now at 5, a nearly 40-year-old cold case finally closed after a jury finds an Oregon man guilty of his wife's murder. We'll hear from the lead prosecutor in the case.
Fighting over a corner of Forest Park continues as Portland City Council weighs whether they'll stop PG's plan to cut down hundreds of trees to make way for more power lines.
Also coming up later, looking to extend time with man's best friend, the new drug trial that looks to give dogs a longer leash on life. The 5 o'clock hour of Sunrise starts right now.
Good morning, and thank you for joining us on your Friday here. I'm China Green.
Sunday is Easter Sunday. That means today is Good Friday. It's been a good week weather-wise. Oh, we do have Ashley Grams filling in for Chris McGinnis. Forgot about that, Ashley.
Good to be here.
And we also have the Rodney Hill talking about the weather.
It's Friday. I'm here. I appreciate Ashley's enthusiasm. Good to be here. All right, here's a look at our Lincoln City sky camera. Little dots up here. You got to look carefully, but it is clear at the coast, and that's my point. Everybody's going to see another gorgeous day. Good visibility, no fog anywhere. 47 is the number out at the airport. This will be the finale of what a work week, pardon me, it's been, right? With the sunny, warm weather. 62 at noon, 76 degrees at 5 o'clock. The wave of cooler weather and changing weather takes place overnight tonight. We'll have that for you coming up. Here's Ashley.
Cooler weather. Let's not spoil the Friday, Rod. I absolutely love it. We'll start up in North Portland here on I-5. This is not far from the Interstate Bridge. Things moving right along. Same story out on the east side as well. Here's a look at 84, not far from 205. And I'll give you a look at the Sunset Highway at 217. Not tracking any serious slowdowns yet. I'll keep you guys updated. Drew, China.
Thank you, Ashley. A decades-old cold case has finally come to a close in Washington County.
A jury convicted an Oregon man for his wife's murder yesterday, nearly 40 years after she was killed. Sunrise reporter Thomas Schultz joins us from the newsroom with more on this. Thomas, we also heard from the lead prosecutor in this case.
Yeah, Drew, that's right. And they're pleased after the jury deliberated for 6 hours before reaching a unanimous verdict. After 37 years, Robert Atrops was found guilty of second-degree murder. Now, back in 1988, Atrops' wife, Debbie, was found strangled to death in the trunk of her car. The case went cold for decades, though a few years ago, detectives uncovered new DNA evidence that prosecutors say tied Atrops to the murder. And another big factor detectives discovered: motive.
He learned that she was having a relationship with somebody at her work, and she had actually told family and friends that if he finds out about this relationship, he will kill me. And that was within a week of her murder. She said that he had found out and had asked her about it.
Prosecutors say the man Debbie had a relationship with cooperated with them, but not long before he was scheduled to testify at trial, he died by suicide. Prosecutors believe his death is not tied to this case, though defense attorneys say investigators were solely focused on Atrops, leading to missed opportunities.
They did everything that they could to charge Mr. Atrops in 2 years before the case went inactive.
Atrops will be sentenced on May 20th. Prosecutors will ask for life in prison or a minimum of 25 years. He's currently being held at the Washington County Jail. Drew.
All right, Thomas Schultz live in our newsroom for us this morning. In another update, the man police arrested after 2 standoffs in Northwest Portland this week pleaded not guilty.
44-year-old Raul Nava Jr. was originally wanted for identity theft. When police went to arrest him Monday night, they say he pepper sprayed an officer and threatened them with a knife. And after a nearly 3-hour standoff, police decided to back off. Officers went back Wednesday to arrest Nava in his tent, and he is now facing additional charges, including attempted assault on an officer and menacing. Court records show Nava also has cases pending in Clackamas and Washington counties.
The Clackamas County Sheriff's Office identified the missing kayaker who witnesses saw go over Willamette Falls in Oregon City last weekend. He's 20-year-old Marcellus Angelo Rodriguez from Porterville, California. His body has still not been found. He arrived in town last Saturday with his family and went missing hours later while he was kayaking. The sheriff's office says several people called 911 after seeing him in distress, and one witness says they saw him trying to swim to shore.
Oregon Governor Tina Kotek has fired the director of the state Public Defense Commission. It comes as Oregon's criminal justice system struggles with a lack of public defenders. Jessica Camphy oversaw the changes that brought state employed public defenders into the contractor-based system. But since then, the number of criminal defendants going unrepresented in Oregon courtrooms has gone up. The governor called the situation unacceptable. She appointed a new director and set a deadline of June for him to come up with a plan to end the crisis. And we've been covering Oregon's public defender system for years. And we have a special right now on our TV app, KGW Plus. It's called Is There a Public Defender Work Stoppage? KGW Plus is free and available to download on Roku, Amazon Fire, and Apple TV.
Port of Portland commissioners have called a special meeting next week to hold a vote on rolling back its social equity policy in response to President Trump's executive order cracking down on diversity, equity, and inclusion programs. The Port of Portland oversees PDX airport operations. In a statement, management said they need to make good faith efforts to comply with federal policies since it's dependent on federal funds to operate. So that meeting next week is set for Monday at 8:30 a.m. and will be live streamed. Details on how to submit written comments are available at portofportland.com.
Portland City Council have tentatively decided not to move forward with a proposal from PGE to install transmission lines in Forest Park, instead siding with those appealing the plans after nearly 5 hours of testimony. Before yesterday's hearing, dozens of concerned neighbors and environmental groups rallied outside Portland City Hall, pushing back against the proposal to cut down roughly 400 trees in Forest Park to make way for a transmission line that PGE says is necessary to meet growing energy demands.
At the end of the day, whether it's big or small, cutting any amount of forest would cause a deep, profound loss.
This is 5 acres of Forest Park. We're talking about streams, wetlands, irreplaceable. Probably would take a century or more to get back what we're losing.
The City Council will make a second vote on this issue next month on May 7th.
Multnomah County launched a new program called Veterans Treatment Court. It's a way for veterans caught in the criminal justice system to get connected to services instead of serving jail time. It's an option for lower level felonies or misdemeanors or people who are involved in substance abuse crimes. Washington County has had a similar program since 2018, and so far 50 people have successfully graduated from that program without going back into the system. Thomas Carson is one of those graduates. He says after life in the military, he didn't really have a clear path to get connected to services.
The VA said, "We're here." That's all they say. But the VTC program has all the connections. They connect you to the right people in the VA, and the right people are on the team. And you stay with that team for the next 2 years or however long you're in the program.
Multnomah County says this program has been 10 years in the making, and they'd like to put 100 veterans through the program. They've now assembled a team to run it.
How do you celebrate Easter? That is the question of the day. We want to hear about your Easter tradition. So text us at 503-226-5088 with a photo maybe. Let us know your name and what area you live in, and your response may just end up on our newscast sometime this morning.
Raised Irish Catholic, of course, and man, it was a big deal. Easter Sunday, and the biggest deal was, Rod, was the fact that Lent was over on Easter Sunday. So we had given up something for 40 days. Usually it was like ice cream. I remember that was a big one in our house, giving up ice cream. So man, Easter Sunday, forget the basket. Let's get to the ice cream.
Yeah, at least when I was a kid, the Methodists got to eat whatever we wanted to, so that wasn't a problem.
There's no Lent for the Methodists?
Well, if there was, we didn't do it.
Noted.
We did have, though, I was sharing with Ashley Grams, the churches in town. I grew up in Columbia, Missouri, got together, and there was a park with a lake, and they had a joint service right at sunrise every Easter morning. With music, and it was really great. And yes, there was tables of food. I remember that. I like that. All right, here's a look at our Rose City camera. We have mostly clear skies out there, 47 degrees is the temperature outside. This is going to be the finale of this stretch of just absolutely gorgeous weather before the pattern changes starting overnight tonight. So your system, your plans for work or play on this Friday are a go. 36 in Battleground, the cool spot on the map right now. It's 38 in McMinnville, so cool out there. And Yamhill County as well. Salem, good morning. 43 is your temperature. It still looks like the first return of any raindrops is first thing tomorrow morning. This is Futurecast at 7 o'clock in the morning. But then that moves off, and behind it, we may or may not see a shower the remainder of the day. It does look like we'll become partly cloudy. So at least the beginning of your weekend, some rain if you're up early, and then pretty nice. And we'll have your complete weekend forecast, of course, coming up with a look at Futurecast in a moment. Here's a look at the beach today. Sunshine to increasing high clouds, a gorgeous day. Temperatures mostly reaching 60 degrees. Northwest winds 5 to 15 miles per hour. For the most part, it will be a sunny day. This shows 70s from Kelso down to Eugene at 4 o'clock this afternoon. The Dalles also reaching 72. And here is the forecast for the Rose City. 76 today, 63 tomorrow. Mainly dry after that early rain that comes through. And then an ongoing threat of light showers. I now have Easter Sunday likely staying cloudy, a low cloud deck throughout the day and a high of about 59. And that is your forecast.